Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. So today you join me for another Premier League prediction week. That is right, today we are predicting Premier League Game Week 15. That is right, the Premier League was during the week as well, but obviously I did not do the predictions for that week because I thought I'd give you guys a bit of a break from my yapping voice. But anyway guys, yeah, we are here for Game Week 15 and yeah, in this series I go through each side, give you some predictions, you know, some details about each side, and give you my prediction at the end of that conversation. Like today's video guys, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and without further ado, let's begin with our Premier League Game Week 15 predictions. First we've got Aston Villa versus Arsenal guys, so this is first versus third. Villa were a fantastic 4-2 win against Brighton during the week. Okay, they went 2-0 down to win 4-2. What is Emery up to, man? What is he doing to this Aston Villa side? Fantastic result for Aston Villa right there, because Brighton, obviously, you know, Brighton have been so good this year, so great for Villa right there. And you got to say, Ollie Watkins back on the score sheet. He looked quite good yesterday, so I've got to admit. So guys, Villa are third in the table right now, okay, and only 5 points behind leaders Arsenal, who they're playing this weekend. Okay, Arsenal will beat Brentford 2-0, a good win considering how Brentford are this season, a tough side to beat, so fair play to Arsenal right there. They sit in first place with a massive 5-point difference between second and third. So Arsenal guys are in the driving seat for the title win this season, and I do believe Arsenal have got it in on this year to win the title, because they aren't slowing down guys, they aren't slowing down, okay. But Villa, the way Villa are right now, you know, they are looking a solid side, and Emery has got them some, you know, got Villa playing some good football. So just on that alone guys, I've got this game to end. It's a very boring, but hopefully not boring, 1-1 draw. Next we've got Bournemouth versus Chelsea guys. So start the season, Bournemouth were having a fantastic season, they were competing for a top 4 finish. But yes, in recent times, in their last 5 games, they have lost 4 and drew 1. So Bournemouth's form right now has massively dropped, and I don't understand why, because obviously the amount of confidence they should be having from the great start they had, it should be continuing. But their confidence right now has gone down, you know, so quickly, rapidly as well, and because of that, they do sit in 14th place. They lost 1-0 to Everton during the week, so not a good result considering. I'd say Bournemouth guys, I thought they would come out again and just try and pick up some results, because obviously, you know, they've not been great the last 5 games, but they are slowly declining. They are now sitting 14th place, considering about 4 or 5 weeks ago they were in like 4th place, so massive drop off. They're up against Chelsea, who lost 3-1 to Leeds. That is right, how the hell did Chelsea lose 3-1 to Leeds? Think about Chelsea this year guys, they are very inconsistent, okay, they are very inconsistent. They do sit in 4th place, but they sit a massive 9 points behind leaders Arsenal. I don't think Chelsea will win the league, because to me, they just, like I said, they just keep losing games. You know, they win some good games and then they start losing games, and losing to Leeds is a massive setback for Chelsea, okay. And you know, I do think Chelsea will be a bit too good for Bournemouth, because obviously the way Bournemouth are right now. So I've got Chelsea to beat Bournemouth 2-1. Next we've got Everton versus Forest. That's right, Everton with a good 1-0 win against Bournemouth, okay. They now sit in 10th place in the table. Jack Grealish back on the score sheet, and I've got to say, Jack Grealish and Dewsbury Hall are carrying this Everton side. I watched the game against Wolves and Bournemouth, should I say. Dewsbury Hall and Grealish, there's a stat on the match, during the match. They had, like, you know, they're showing you a stat before the game, showing you Everton's attacking threats, and both on the left hand side. Obviously Dewsbury Hall is on the left midfield, and Dewsbury Hall is on the Grealish is on the wing of the midfield, and yeah, in that left section, it's like 65-70% possession and attacking threat going down that left hand side, and that is the story of Everton this year. They've got 2 fantastic players in that midfield, Dewsbury Hall and Jack Grealish, and they are bossing that left hand side of the midfield, and that is success for them this season. To sit in 10th place, Everton are definitely a top 7 finish side. They're up against Forest, who beat Wolves 1-0. Okay, so since Sean Dyche has come in, he's only lost 1 game out of 6. Forest's last 5 games, they have won 3, drew 1 and lost 1. So you know what, Forest are picking up points nicely as well. And I've got to say, Sean Dyche, man, he's come in, he's literally made the defence so solid now, and that is what Forest had trouble with defending before. They now, they are now a solid defensive side. What I like about Forest is the way they get the ball forward. All they do is boot the ball up, go literally direct, and it works. It works, guys. Obviously, there's nothing better than just getting the ball up into the opponent's half, from direct kicks and stuff. Obviously, all this tiki-taka football, it's getting a bit, too modern now. Too many teams are doing it. And you know what? Direct is the best way forward in my opinion, and that is what Forest are doing. Got this game, guys, to end as, that is right, I got this game to end as a 1-1 draw. ManCity versus Sunderland, guys. So ManCity went 5-1 up against Fulham, and they nearly scuffed that lead. They beat Fulham in the end 5-4. Fantastic game during the week. That was the game of the week for me. Yeah, but again, they still won, guys. They still won, and that is the main thing. They do sit in 2nd place, 5 points behind leaders Arsenal. Haaland with his 100th Premier League goal in the fastest ever time. That is right, guys. Haaland has got the 100th goal, the fastest ever time in appearances in the Premier League. So yeah, again, he's bossing it again. Phil Foden, to me, looks a bit at his best now, and that is great news for Man City, because Foden, when he is on form, that is an extra man for them to, dictate and utilise. So fair play to Foden. He's come back stronger than ever. They're up against Sunderland, who drew 1-1 with Liverpool. You know what, a good point, but Sunderland should have won. It was only by an own goal that made them get that draw. So you know what, Sunderland, man, they sit in 6th place, and what season they are having. They are so hard to beat this season, and yeah, man, it's great to see a lowest team coming up to the Premier League and actually competing against the big boys, and Sunderland are doing that right now. So yeah, very impressed with Sunderland. So guys, just on that, yeah, Man City do have trouble keeping the goals out, so that is why, guys, I've got Sunderland to beat Man City. That is why I got Sunderland, guys, to beat Man City 2-1. Newcastle versus Burnley, guys. That's right. So Newcastle drew 2-2 with Spurs during the week, and they didn't play too bad. They sit in 12th place right now in the table, and yeah, Waldemar again. He's on fire again. In their last 3 games, they have won 2 and drew 1, so not too bad in my opinion. They're up against Burnley, who lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace, which see them now in 19th place in the table, and they are slowly losing time. Before obviously the start of the season, they were winning games, getting points, but now in their last 5 games, they have lost all 5. So Burnley are slowly doing what Burnley do best, and that is getting promotion, getting relegated straight after. So I don't know, there's still only 4 points in it between 19th and 17th, but the way Burnley are right now, I can't see them getting out of the bottom 3. The rain, man, so ignore the rain, it is loud today, man. So yeah, just on that, guys, I've got Newcastle to beat Burnley 3-0. Next we've got Spurs versus Brentford, guys. So Spurs drew 2-2 with Newcastle, and they sit in 11th place, man. I can't really say much about Spurs, because Spurs are just Spurs, aren't they? Like, every season they start off so well, and then they start losing it halfway through the season. 11th place right now. Thomas Frank has said, he admires the fight back against Newcastle, but in my opinion, Spurs don't look very good. They're losing the ball in midfield, they're not passing, they're playing out from the back, losing that in the back, getting goals scored past them. The major problem is striker. They haven't got a striker who can put the ball in the back of the net, and I think Spurs will utilise the January transfer window for a striker. In my opinion, that is what is needed. But yeah, Spurs are just Spurs, man. They had to rely on their captain, centre-back Romero, to get 2 goals from during the weekend. You know what, it's a point against Newcastle, but Spurs, the way Spurs have been recently, not been good. Up against Brentford, who lost 2-0 to Arsenal. Again, no harm done in that. In their last 5 games, they've won 3 and lost 2. So Brentford, you know, I love watching Brentford this year. They are so solid as a team. You know, they work for each other. They make games hard for bigger teams, and that is all you can ask for, okay? And you know, I like Brentford. They do sit in 13th place, 2 points behind Spurs, but they remain on the same point. So Brentford need this win to overtake Spurs to get into the top 10. So you know what, I've got that, guys. That's why I've got this game to end as a Brentford, but I've got Brentford to beat Spurs 2-0. Leeds versus Liverpool. That is right, guys. Leeds, man, fantastic 3-1 win against Chelsea. Calvert-Lewin with his 250th appearance in the Premier League to get a goal as well. So fair play to him right there. Leeds now move out of the relegation zone. Great win for Leeds, by the way. Great win for Leeds, and that, you know, can that now give, because I heard Daniel Farke under pressure, and that win against Chelsea will ease that pressure slightly. And yeah, fair play to Leeds, man. Great result. Up against Liverpool, who drew 1-1 with Sunderland. In my opinion, a very lucky draw. They only got the draw because of an own goal from Sunderland, and I watched the game and I thought to myself, damn, this Liverpool side are lacking confidence. That is right. They've dropped Mo Salah to the bench. In my opinion, it's probably the right decision, because Mo Salah this year has not been great. Yes, he started off fantastic, but he has, you know, I don't like to say this word, but I'll say it anyway. You know, I think his peak has gone, and I think he's past his peak. He's getting old now. That is what I don't like using, old, because you have players around the world now who are bossing it. Vardy bossing it, Ronaldo bossing it, Messi bossing it. I'll say Vardy, guys, because Vardy is the GOAT in my opinion. But anyway, that's the point. Yeah, I don't like using the word old, but Mo Salah, he's definitely lost that pace and confidence, and I think he'll come back. But I think dropping Salah right now is the right decision. Liverpool are just too slow coming forward. They're passing too slow, and that's what that is why they're having a poor season this year. Liverpool sit in 8th place, okay, so quite low for them. But I do have Liverpool, guys, to beat Leeds only just by a 1-0 win. Next up, we've got Brighton versus West Ham. That is right, guys. So Brighton lost 4-2 to Aston Villa during the week, which sets them back slightly. Okay, they now sit in 7th place. They went 2-0 up, which I thought, you know what, Brighton can win this game, but they came, obviously they lost it. So that loss has now ended their 3-game win streak. That is right. Like I say, guys, Brighton are fine this year. They should get a top 8 this year, in my opinion. West Ham, we're playing tonight against Man United, but they did lose 2-0 to Liverpool last week. Okay, they do sit 18th place in the relegation zone, and West Ham need to win this game, because yeah, if they keep losing games, they're going to be lower in the table. They're going to find it hard to get out of the relegation, and yeah, West Ham have done better recently. In their last 5 games, they've won 2, drew 1 and lost 2, so not bad considering the season they are having. Come on, it's mental to see how bad they are doing this season. Unreal. But anyway, guys, I've got this game to end as a Brighton win. That's why I've got Brighton to beat West Ham 3-1. Next, we've got Fulham versus Crystal Palace. That was right, guys. London derby. Fulham lost 5-4 to ManCity. They went 5-1 down to come back to 5-4. Fantastic fight back They sit in 15th place, which in my opinion, when I looked at the table, I thought Fulham were a little bit higher than what they were. But they're sitting 15th place, but a massive 6 points above relegation. So, you know what? I thought Fulham were higher than what they were, but, you know, I guess results have just been slowly declining. Their last 5 games, though, they have won 3 and lost 2. But again, Fulham will be fine this year. They've got a good manager. They've got a good side, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they get on against this Crystal Palace side. That's right, they're up against Crystal Palace, who beat Burnley 1-0, which now sees them sit in 5th place. That is right, guys. They're only 10 points behind the leaders, Arsenal. Palace, man, what a season they are having. 5th place. I do like watching Crystal Palace. I always look at their results during the games because obviously, you know, I want to see Palace do well this year. You know, they've got a good side. They've lost some good players, and obviously they've come out, brought new players, and they're doing even better. So, you know, I like watching Crystal Palace play. But yeah, so just on that alone, guys, I've got this game to end as a Crystal Palace win. That is right. I've got Palace to beat Fulham 2-1. So now, down to the final game of this game week. It is Wolves versus Man United. That is right, guys. Wolves lost 1-0 to Nottingham Forest, which now sees them only sit on, again, 2 points this season. This side in the Premier League this year, not to win a single game. That is right. 14 games in, only 2 points. Honestly, man, I can't believe how bad Wolves are doing this year. Why couldn't they do this last season against Leicester when my boys were in the Premier League? Because if Wolves playing like did last season, how they are now, then Leicester might have been okay for promotion, you know, for relegation safe there. But anyway, we'll move on. But yeah, Wolves, man, Rob Edwards, and you know, he's come in, he's lost 2 now on the bounce, played 2, lost 2, and in my opinion, it wasn't really the manager who's at fault. I think Wolves, in my opinion, don't have a good enough side to compete this year. Yeah. Interesting, man. 2 points in the 14 games, not great. They're up against Man United, who are playing tonight against West Ham, but they do sit in 9th place. There's a lot of people saying Man United are back, but Man United aren't back, guys. You know, somehow they'll still end up losing these games, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, so what, guys? Who remembers the days when Man United were always competing for #1? Why? Where are them days gone? With Alex Ferguson, when Ferguson retired, they have never ever replaced him, and that is still remains the issue to this day. Like, what is it, like 15 years, 20 years later? Not quite that long, but you know what I mean. All these years later, they still haven't found a replacement. It's going to take a tough time, but you know, Man United, guys, should beat Wolves, and that's why I got Man United to beat Wolves 3-0. There we go, guys. That is my Premier League Game Week 15 predictions. Let me know down below in the comments. Let's start a debate in the comments section. And yeah, Game Week 15 is here, nearly halfway through the season. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching today's video. See you guys next week for a brand new one. Good, and good night.